with your palate cleansers. Show me what you got.
Welcome everybody to a brand new episode of Audionots, episode number 2 of season 2. I am here with the Sith Lord Ren. I am Eric Oldboy, and we are excited to have you guys in today. What's going on, Ren?
Living life, man. Our states can be closed down again. I mean,
Do they
we're
say that
close
for
to it.
sure?
No, but I'm pretty sure it's gonna happen.
Yeah, we keep getting more and more cases. Every day we have more cases.
But overall, I'm hot and I'm good.
Little warm out today. What's the temperature?
Yeah.
Let me check my watch. Well, my watch says it's only 81 right now, but it feels warmer than that.
I think so. Well, the wind helps a lot,
Yeah, it is very windy. It's supposed to be even warmer this weekend, to like the 90s, I think.
So finally a nice weekend.
Yeah, I'm ready for it. We deserve it. I also want to take a quick comment before we dive into the podcast that our production values are getting so much better now. The opening sequence, the commercials, everything sounds so dope. It's super cool. So I'm digging on it for sure.
I mean, we have we're seasoned now. We got a whole season. We have a whole season now. So
yeah, a whole season
we're
under
seasoned
our belts.
Podcasters.
Your pop culture podcasters that are seasoned with, there's something there, something funny. I can build that into like the opening.
Yeah.
Don't know what it is yet. But yeah, we're seasoned. We're learning. I think honestly, our production values are good. Our microphones are okay. If only we didn't have to do it via interwebs. I think the interwebs is what kind of monkeys up our audio quality at this point. Because I think otherwise we have it down.
Yeah, because I really want to get that podcast deck, whatever you call it,
Oh yeah, those are cool.
Yeah, that
just
would
do
make
it live, push the buttons.
Yeah, that would make our production way better.
Yeah, we would be next level. Then we could be we'd be so good we could get hired and fired by Viacom in a matter of days. So that'd be pretty cool. I'm down for it. Well, you want to get into it, or do you want to tell me about what you've been up to? Have you been doing anything new? Watching anything new?
Well, from last week, it's been just the same,
Yeah.
Watching shows, looking at my fish grow.
It feels like almost feels like we're in a time loop. Thanks to COVID-19, it's like one of these repeating day type shows, which is going to segue perfectly into my first show I want to talk about on the Healthy Stream. So I watched a movie that I had no idea what it was about. And if any viewers are out there or listeners are out there don't want to know anything about it, jump out for 2 seconds. I'm just going to give the very basic concept of this film. But it's a brand new film on Hulu called Palm Springs, and it stars the one and only Andy Samberg. And that's kind of why I watched it, because I love that guy. He's so funny. I've loved him since Saturday Night Live. I love the Lonely Island guys. I love Brooklyn Nine-Nine. Pretty much anything he's in.
His mockumentaries.
Yeah, all of his mockumentaries are good. I'm just a big fan. And so I saw this, and I'm like, I've never even heard of this. I'm like, where the hell did this movie even come from? And so it's a Hulu original, but it's very indie. It's got a real nice indie feel to it. And so I watched it. It's a real easy watch. It's only an hour and a half. And I know you haven't seen it yet either, correct?
No, not yet.
So I won't get too heavy in the details, other than the fact that I really did enjoy it. And it's not a huge twist because they show it all over the trailer if you watch the trailer. But this is a time, because we remember when I first said, "Oh, have you heard of Palm Springs?" And I was looking at the description, and I'm like, it's so interesting with this movie because it says it's a rom-com, it's comedy, drama, and sci-fi. And I'm like, sci-fi? How in the world is this movie sci-fi? Well, I know why now, and the reason is it's a time looper. It's your typical time looper movie, and this is a plot device that's been like run into the ground by many a film.
Oh, that's why you had that segue earlier.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I almost wonder if that's what made me enjoy it even more, because it honestly does feel like we're living in a loop these days, because we do like the same thing every day. I was talking to my wife about it earlier. It's like you get up in the morning. I get up every day at 6:15. I shower, go to work for 8 hours, come home, I eat dinner. I play cornhole with my kid. I watch an hour's worth of TV. I go to bed, repeat. And it's the same thing. I'm sure it's
Yeah.
probably similar for you and everybody else out there.
Yeah, if you switch your playing with your kids with me to watching my fishes, then
Nice.
it pretty much the same.
There it is.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like no matter how hard we try, we're kind of in a loop. So it almost made me like this movie even more. So Palm Springs, the basic concept, without giving away too much funness of it, but I watched the trailer, so I'm not giving away anything you wouldn't see in the trailer, is Andy Samberg is stuck in a day loop where he's repeating the same day over and over again. And he accidentally sucks in a lady into his day loop. And then together they go through their misadventures of trying to get out of the loop to like every day looper where they have a little bit of time in the middle where they just enjoy the fact that they can get away with anything because they know there's no consequences.
Right.
But like many other day looper movies, they always try to kind of teach you something about the character and those kind of things. And it was really, really fun. I like this movie. I highly recommend it. I would give it a solid 7.5, 8 nuts is on the scale rating. It's
a little nutty there.
Yeah, it kind of falls under all the categories they say it did. It's a comedy, so because you got Andy Samberg being Andy Samberg,
Right.
it's a little bit of a drama, and it's got some fun little sci-fi elements to it with the looping and a couple other things that I won't spoil. But it's a clever little movie, and if I was ranking, I mean, let's think about this for a second. We're talking day looper movies because I mean, how many day looper movies are there? It seems like they've been making them like one after another for years, with the OG being Groundhog Day. I think that was the first ever day looper movie. What's your favorite day looper movie if you had to choose one?
Edge of Tomorrow.
Yes, absolutely.
Yes.
Edge of Tomorrow is also my favorite, but I'm going to go ahead and say right now that Palm Springs is my second favorite day looper movie.
Wow.
I'm going to go Edge of Tomorrow, Live, Die, Repeat, Palm Springs, and then Groundhog Day, because Groundhog Day is still, it's a classic. You can't go wrong. But what about Happy Death Day? That's a day looper. What do you think about that? Is that in your top 10?
No way. The only thing I like about that movie, well, the two movies, is that they actually explain why it was looping.
That's true. And they don't really explain in this one why it's looping, but they do give you a conclusion, which is pretty cool. So I dig that. Did you ever see the Black Mirror version, Bandersnatch? Because I heard that's a day looper too.
Yeah.
Where would that one rank with these films?
For me, it's in the middle.
Somewhere in the middle.
Because it's kind of like a force looper since you're like controlling it, you know?
Oh, right.
Yeah.
Because the viewer controls that looping, correct? Because that's one of those Netflix movies where you could, choose your own adventure.
Right.
Yeah. Looks kind of
cool.
What about you got another one? Which one?
Naked?
Oh yeah, with Marlon Wayans.
Yeah.
I never saw that movie. Is that movie worth watching?
No. He was basically contracted to do movies, and that's one of them.
You just put one out, kind of Adam Sandler style, where you just shove a bunch of crap so you could get your contract done.
Yeah, it's just him being him the whole time, and then you learn a lesson at the end, and that's it.
So I actually pulled up a list on the interwebs of day looper movies because it's amazing how many there are.
Did what you know? Looper?
Looper wasn't really a day looper though. I'm specifically, we're honing in on just the repeating of the day. Like we were doing the same day over and over again.
Right.
Shockingly, that's been done like a bajillion times. And sometimes I love it and sometimes not so much. But have you ever seen the TV show Russian Doll?
On Netflix? Yeah. I watched like the first episode and then I forgot about it.
Well, that's a day looper, they say too, and I had no idea. I had no idea that's what that was about.
Yeah.
You didn't like it?
Well, I watched it. It had really good reviews.
Yeah.
But then, there's so many shows. I just never got back to it.
You just kind of forgot about it after a while?
Yeah, and it stars that one chick from Orange is New Black.
I remember her as an old man from American Pie. She was in the first 2 American Pies.
I think she played the exorcism
of somebody.
Yeah, like the one that we know that blah.
Oh, Exorcist.
Yeah, The Exorcist.
Yeah.
But like the scary movie version or something like that.
Oh, that's funny. What about Source Code? Did you ever see Source Code with Jake Gyllenhaal?
No, I didn't
I
watch that
didn't
one.
either. And this sounds like a day looper I might enjoy. So, Source Code is from 2011. Somehow neither one of us ever saw it. But it stars Jake Gyllenhaal as a Captain Coulter Stevens. He's a U.S. Army pilot who struggles to find his identity after reliving the same 8-minute period before the train he's on explodes, killing everybody. And so
Wait,
he
it's
has
only
to
8 minutes?
no, he repeats the same 8 minutes over and over again. So this is a really tight day looper.
Yeah.
So apparently he's on a train that explodes, and he's only got 8 minutes to try to solve the problem each time before it resets. And so that's what that one's about. That sounds kind of interesting. It's on looks like it's on Amazon if you want to watch it. Apparently X-Files has had some day looper episodes. Oh, your favorite, Supernatural apparently has had some day looper episodes.
Yeah.
Trying to see, this is a big ass list of I had no idea that there were so many. I'm on a website called Digital Trends, and they're telling me all about it. Oh, remember ARQ? That was one earlier, a couple years ago. That was a Netflix original. Remember the guy? He like wakes up to somebody shooting him, and it turns out he had some sort of arc reactor in his basement he was working on, and we kept repeating the day. So he started to learn how to avoid the guys storming his house to kill him.
I don't know. I don't
Oh, you never
remember
saw that one? It's
I don't
not
think so.
terrible. It's not great. It would be towards the bottom of my day looper films. But it's
Oh,
not
is that
terrible.
the one with the upload dude?
Yes, Robbie Amell.
Oh,
Yeah, so
yeah,
you
yeah.
do know it.
Yeah.
It didn't stick with you.
Man, that dude's like becoming the one guy that everybody's casting.
Yeah, I think it's because he can kind of play a lot of parts. He's a good looking guy. In fact, he was just recently in a movie I watched on Netflix called Desperados, and he was
All right.
the love interest, or one of the love interests. So yeah. Anyways, long story short, Palm Street Springs is a must watch. So all you Audionots out there who are bored out of your minds, it's an hour and a half on Hulu. And the best thing about Hulu movies, even with the cheap version like I have, its movies have no commercials. Oh, by the way, you got to stick around into the end credits. There's a fun scene about 30 seconds into the end credits. So Marvel style, don't let the movie end before too soon.
I hate it when like the movie's ending like that, right? When the credit shows up, and then it starts recommending like a next show. No, I still want to watch it. You know?
Right? Yeah. Netflix is bad on that. I didn't notice that Hulu did that, so you'll be okay on Hulu. At least I don't remember seeing that. Over on Disney Plus, I watched Hamilton. We talked about it episode or two ago, and I've never really been a huge Broadway music theater kind of guy, but it's very enjoyable. And I'm not certain it's for everybody. Some people may or may not like it, but it's really long too. By the way, it's like over 2 hours long. It's almost 2.5 hours, and it has an intermission. That's how long it is. So you can get up and take a dump in between the intermissions if you want to. But
was it one sitting for you?
Yeah, we watched it all in one sitting. We watched it like on a Saturday night as like our family movie, and it's good. You know what I liked about it was it's mostly hip hop and rap music. So anybody who's never seen or know anything about Hamilton, they sing a little bit. They do some R&B, but it's mostly hip hop and rap. There's zero just standard acting / talking. So there's no setting up the songs. It's just song. Nonstop. So if you hate that kind of stuff, you probably won't like it. But I like rap music, and I think that's kind of what turned me on. They do some really clever rhymes with the material they had, I thought. It has a lot of good humor, and it was filmed. It's not like it wasn't filmed like a movie. It was literally like when they film like a comedy special. So like when a comedian gets up and does, or a concert, that kind of thing.
Right.
So they actually filmed the Broadway show itself. They edited it really good. I thought it was super entertaining, and I learned a lot. Like you realize how little you know about U.S. history, and then you watch a funny rap Broadway show, and you're like, "Damn, I learned more today than I have in forever about U.S. history." So I enjoyed it. I give Hamilton an easy, strong 8 nuts. So
nice.
But be wary. And it took me, to be fair, it did take me probably the first 20 minutes to get into it. I didn't really like the first number. I thought the first song was a little weak. And before I realized you had to really pay attention, you can't half-ass this show. Otherwise, you're not going to follow the story because they're singing the whole time.
So, and you're also saving thousands of dollars, right? Rather than going to see it live.
Yeah, because tickets for that show are like almost impossible to get.
Yeah.
And they just cost like a ton of money. So you're saving all sorts of coin by watching it on Disney Plus. So I'm kind of hoping that maybe this will be popular enough that more stuff will end up filmed and on TV this way, because I've never had a lot of opportunity to experience a lot of theater, and I'm not a big theater guy, but this is probably the easiest way to like dip your toes.
But then again, is it because of COVID though?
Oh, for sure. Because otherwise on a Saturday night we'd be doing something and we're stuck at home day looping.
I mean, that too, but like without COVID, they would have never released Hamilton on streaming. Is that correct?
For sure. That's 100% correct. And but maybe because of how much success it's had, because I read somewhere that it's already the number one thing that's ever been streamed on Disney Plus. Right. That other people will take cues from that because there's money to be made from anything that's a big streamer. So maybe we'll see more of it just because they've proved it can work.
Yeah, Quibi, don't give up 3 months.
Quibi's done. I mean, Quibi's so done in my mind that I took it off our show list. So for a little bit behind the scenes on Audionots, I have an iPad that I keep a show list on. I have columns inside of like a worksheet. And I keep a column for each of the different streaming services. And if a piece of news comes out, I add it to the column and we talk about it. And I've completely deleted the Quibi column. So probably my only next piece of Quibi news will be like, hey, did you know that Quibi went out of business? Because I'm kind of done. I don't think that they're going to last. So I apologize, Quibi, if you manage to stick through it.
Yeah, I got an email saying, we miss you. Come back.
Did you really?
Here's a new show. It's called Die Hard. With Kevin Hart.
Yeah, I got that one too. It looks stupid. It's like, that's not gonna do it, Quibi. Get your act together. That's not the one. Over on, let's see. I'm gonna save Netflix for towards the end because, as usual, they have the most hot takes and hot news. But over on Amazon Prime, we didn't have anything on Amazon Prime last episode, but there's a show that I'm kind of interested in. I wouldn't say excited. But if you like reality competition, which is pretty much the only kind of reality shows I really like, they've got one coming out from the guy that made Survivor. And it's hosted by the one and only Bear Grylls. It's called World's Toughest Race. And it essentially looks like if The Amazing Race and Survivor made Sweet, Sweet Love, and this is the baby that they had. And it's 10 episodes long. They call it an epic 10 episodes. And it stars, it's like I said, the host is Bear Grylls, and they have a bunch of teams, and they're basically running some sort of really hard race. Looks through almost like Africa or the Amazon or something. But like everything looks very difficult. And at one point, one of the contestants like, I've only got 4 hours of sleep in the last 4 days. And they're like swinging off things and biking and swimming. And it's like a real kind of endurance type challenge. So it looks pretty cool. I'm totally down for the World's Toughest Race. It reminds me, I don't know if you watch MTV's The Challenge at all.
No.
My wife and I really like that. And the challenge, basically, the competitors compete in individual challenges once per episode, and then they keep losing until they get to the final challenge at the end of the season. And that's usually the challenge they pretty much try to kill everybody on. And it's usually some really hard 3-day trek through like this last season, they had to go up literally like Mount Everest. It was incredible. They're like climbing through the snow and doing all these challenges. Like most people quit. They don't even make it. And this show looks like it's 10 episodes of the last episode of the challenge. So that's kind of fun.
Well, I mean, if you have Bear Grylls, it has to be epic, right?
Right, because that's his whole gimmick, right? That he can do anything.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it's like 10 episodes of Bear Grill type stuff. And that debuts August 14th on Amazon Prime. So that's something to kind of look forward to coming up.
Oh, yeah, next month.
Yeah, next month. Over on HBO Max, I kind of want to talk about some shows we're watching rather than anything new. I'm still watching Search Party, and I mentioned last episode that I'd finished it, and it had a great first season ending. Like, it totally twisted everything on its head. Season 1 starts off fantastic. Or season 2. I think season 2 may even be better so far than season
Really?
1. Yeah, so I'm really liking this show. If you start to watch it and you feel like maybe it's not for me, give it a few episodes at the very least, because it takes it a moment to get cranking. But once it gets going, it's really a fun, dark humor kind of mystery, comedy, drama thing. And they did something really clever at the end or at the very beginning of season 2. And I had to point it out to my wife. And maybe I'm just put together in my head, it doesn't actually exist, but I believe I saw a metaphor within the show that explained the entire show with the metaphor. And I'm like, did you see that? They were talking about red herrings, and this whole show is nothing but an effing red herring. And I explained to her my theory, and she's like, oh, yeah, it makes sense. So it's cool. I like Search Party. If you're not watching it, give it a shot. I also started your show, Doom Patrol.
Yeah.
And it's pretty cool looking, but I thought the first episode was a little bit slow. I've never been as big a DC guy, so I don't know the characters as well. And I wanted you to tell me that it gets better.
It gets better.
Okay. How much better?
Well, the thing is, it's the slow part about it. There's a lot of character development.
Yeah.
To where it keeps going back to like the past of how they were before.
Right.
They became like in that the house. So there's like a learning curve along with it too. And then the plot doesn't really get going until like, I don't know, midway.
And for those who haven't seen or know Doom Patrol, it's almost like kind of dorky X-Men, right? So the one guy's kind of the Professor X type dude. And I realized that it was the second James Bond. He plays the Professor X type of dude. And then Brendan Fraser, is it Brendan or Brandon? I never can remember. Brendan Fraser plays one of the main characters along with a couple other people, but they're not necessarily, and it's narrated, like you said last episode, by the villain, which that part's kind of fun. And Andy Tudyk. Alan? He's great though. He's really good. But so there's a lot to like about this show. But I just, like you said, there's so much character development. I kind of want them to get to like things happening.
So you met the girl, right, Jane?
I've met everybody except for Cyborg, which I know is in it because they show him on the cover when you click on it to watch it. But they haven't introduced. He's the worst,
man.
He could have been Cyborg for the movie. Same guy?
No. It's kind of like Teen Titan Cyborg in a way. Because like they kind of mention where he's already doing his superhero stuff.
Okay.
But he's not good enough to be in the Justice League.
Oh, okay. Yeah. That's interesting. Yeah, so I'd say if anybody's interested in superhero stuff, definitely give it a shot. It's kind of a fun take on the superhero genre that we're not used to. I'm hoping that it speeds up, but yeah, I like it, but I don't love it just yet.
Yeah, once you get into like Jane's personalities, I really wish they kind of focus on her, like for the season. Like they could have done so much for her, but she wasn't the main issue, you know?
Right. Is Jane, remind me, is she the one that blobs out, or is she the one with all the multiple personalities?
Multiple personalities.
Yeah. So, and you were saying that each personality comes with its own power, which is a super cool concept.
Yeah. So I really like her as a character, and she's a really good actress too.
Nice. Yeah, no, the acting's great.
Yeah. And she actually wants to play the actress. She wants to play a Green Lantern, like a lady Green Lantern. I forget who she is, but I saw like a post of that. I was like, yeah, she fits the part.
I didn't even know that there was Lady Green Lanterns.
Yeah, me too.
Huh. Very cool.
And we're sexist.
I don't know that it's sexist. I'd go as far as say DC sexist for not putting Lady Green Lantern out there more.
Yeah, you need to educate us more.
Yeah, not us. We need a Disney Plus teleplay about Lady Green Lantern so we can learn more.
No, HBO Max.
Oh, yeah. You know what would be good? Let's jump over to the Peacock. That'd be good. Have you heard of the Peacock? Have you watched it yet? Did you know it debuted?
Was it peacocking?
It was peacocking. Yeah, and the best part about the Peacock is you don't have to buy it. There's a pay for version and there's a free version. So I downloaded the free version, and it pretty much has everything that the paid version has. Sans, you have to watch commercials. So it's almost like my cheap version of Hulu, but even cheaper because it's free. So the Peacock has pretty much everything that's ever ran on NBC, and then a few other things. But the one thing that I saw that I actually want to watch is there used to be a TV show on, I want to say USA. Maybe NBC owns USA, but there is a show called Psych. Did you ever watch Psych back in the day?
Oh, with the
guy that would always go like this? Yeah.
Yeah. Didn't they make a movie too?
Well, this is the movie.
Oh, shoot. Yeah.
So yes, they did make a movie. They made it for Peacock. So Psych was a show, I think it ran for quite a while. My wife and I really liked it. It was cute. It was never too much of a thinker. It was always kind of silly, It was Sean and Gus were the name of the characters. And he would always run around, and Sean would do this thing where he put his fingers to his temple, and he'd act like he was a psychic and solve crimes and mysteries. But in reality, he wasn't psychic at all. His dad was a cop, and when he was a kid, his dad taught him how to spot clues. So he just had a really quick way of spotting clues no one else could spot. And so the police department hired him as a consultant, and he would roll in with the detective Lassiter and this other female detective, and he would, every episode they couldn't figure out, he'd go, I can do it, and he would like use his psychic powers, which was nothing but him like noticing shit. And so
his eyes like,
yeah, it would do like the editing was always like it'd zoom in and light up, and you see his head going as he like pretended like, and he'd like always overact and pretend like he was really having a psychic episode and stuff. And so it was really kind of fun and clever. But it's been off the air for years, probably like 4 or 5 years. And so part of the debut of the Peacock, they brought it back. And so Detective Lassiter, they called him Lassie. That was his nickname. And the name of the movie is Psych 2, Lassie Come Home. And so this is a movie version of, because at the very end of Psych, it looked as if Lassiter had been killed. And now we find out that he's not dead. And Gus and Sean have to go and rescue him. What's interesting is I can't remember the actor's name, but the actor that plays Lassie / Lassiter had a stroke in real life a year or two ago, and he's been recovering from that because I saw him in another show on ABC called American Housewife, where he also had a part, and he had a stroke between seasons. And so they actually built that into his character on that show. And so he even talked about having a stroke on the show, and he was with a cane for a while. And he looks a little bit different because, when you have a stroke, one side of your body can kind of droop and look a little bit weird. And so, but it's really cool to be able to see him back and acting again. So I was excited about that too.
I'm looking it up. His name is Timothy Omundson.
Okay. Yeah, that guy. So he's a good actor too, and I'm glad to see he's not only in the Psych 2, but he's like part of the title. So he's a bigger character this time.
Did you know that Gus, he was in Ballers?
Yes, he was. He was one of the original GMs.
Yeah.
For
the Dolphins.
Yep. No, I like that guy. He's a great actor too. For the longest time, there was a rumor that he was on The Cosby Show as a kid actor, and it's not the same dude, but he looks just like the adult version of this kid from The Cosby Show. It's so funny.
Did the age like catch up?
I think the age worked and everything. And like if I showed you this kid and said this kid grew up into this guy, you'd be like, oh yeah, that makes sense. But it turns out he's just one of those weird internet rumors. Kind of like the kid from Wonder Years growing up to be Marilyn Manson.
I saw one where they're like, did you know the Asian kid from Goonies grew up to be Glenn from The Walking Dead? And people believed it. I'm like,
people will believe anything. But sometimes we are like pro level seguers today. Sometimes that's true because you pointed out to me today that the kid from Harry Potter grew up to be in the old guard.
That's true. But you got to thank my wife, though, because she's the one that spotted him.
Give her points because I had no idea. So I finally got around to watching The Old Guard. You told me it was really good, and the fact is, yes, it is really good. It's a great movie. That could have been easily a theater movie.
I think so.
My hottest take from that movie is they made such a big deal over the action and stunt sequences and Extraction. Like that's how they actually advertised it, that it was directed by a stunt coordinator and all this stuff. The action the way they film it and have it take place in the old guard, I thought was some of the best I've seen since like John Wick. It was really cool. I really enjoyed when Charlize Theron was like fighting, and she'd use her axe with one hand, then she'd have like a 9mm in another hand, and she would do this punch thing where she'd punch him in the chest with the gun and then pull the trigger, and it'd make that cool. And she'd go around just like, and everybody.
For me, the action is like way better than John Wick because for me, John Wick is an action movie throughout, right?
Yeah.
And a lot of gun shooting, but this one, it has its action moments,
right?
And the choreography of it, man, it's freaking crazy.
And it wasn't all trick editing, because a lot of times, and I think you do what you're picking up on John Wick is a lot of times they edit the action, so like they're fighting up close, but the camera's like all over the board and like flying around, so you're like it feels more frantic than maybe it is. And so I think that's what you're picking up on, because you're right. The old guard's action is like it's just really well choreographed action.
Yeah. And they pan it to where you can see everything that's happening, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
And to think that the whole team, they're all immortals, right?
Yeah.
And they've been a team for so long that they just kind of know each other so well that they just kind of like combo attack the whole time. So it's like, oh shit.
Yeah, and then towards the end, I don't want to give anything away in the movie because it's still such a fresh movie. But the way they're protecting each other, like because one of them is more could be more damaged than others. It's just it's so like basically setting themselves up as like human shields as they're fighting. It's just really clever. There's a lot of really clever fight scenes.
Yeah, when that happened, I'm like, oh shit, protect the president. so we do when we play games. Yeah,
that's funny. Protect the president. This actually gives me another story I want to talk about. Go ahead. You say your thing real quick.
Oh, yeah, but like one of my favorite scenes was when like she would punch somebody.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden her teammate goes and shoots him. Like, what happened?
Oh yeah, they punch like the other one to someone else shooting them. Yeah.
Yeah, like
that was
the finishing blow.
I think that was kind of cool about the coordination is it seemed like they were all fighting as one almost. Like one person would have a blow, and then as the opponent did something, the next person knew exactly where the next blow should happen. And so it was really cool.
Yeah, and what's amazing, it's like usually you could tell it's a body double.
Yeah.
But that's Shari's doing everything, right?
Yeah.
Her fighting, her doing the stunts, that's all her.
We were talking about it offline a little bit, but I think she might be one of the best female action stars, because she killed it in Mad Max. She killed it in this. And I never saw it, but I heard she was good in, what was the other one? Atomic Blonde? Yeah. I heard she was like a female John Wick, James Bond in that movie too.
Yeah. I never thought of her as an action heroine.
Yeah.
But she just kind of like evolved to that.
Well, it's no different than role. Keanu Reeves, if you think about it. He wasn't an action hero until someone decided to put him in Speed. And then all of a sudden, all he did was action movies. You know? He was like the goofy surfer guy and stuff like that. So it was cool to see that with her as an actress. There's not enough, I think, regular female action stars. And she looks the part. Like, you believe she would kick your ass if she wanted to.
Yeah, she's so BA.
Yeah, totally. But here's a cool little hot tip for everybody listening. So, you mentioned a second ago that you called it Protect the President when you play video games because that scene reminded you of it. Well, guess what? There's an old guard video game, okay, made by Netflix, and it's only available starting tomorrow, Friday the 17th. Okay, through Sunday the 19th. And if you go on there, and because obviously they can't die, you play as Charlize Theron. It's how long you can go without getting a shot taken to you. You can win, and because they're immortal, you can win an Immortals version of Netflix subscriptions. So here, let me pull it up real quick. Basically,
Netflix forever.
Well, so they clarify that a little bit. So basically what they say, let me get this open because I actually tried to go to the website. By the way, the video game website is not up yet, but it starts tomorrow morning. But you can play the old guard game and you can win a free lifetime subscription to Netflix. So Netflix goes on to say you're not technically immortal, so it's not like something you could get and pass on to somebody. But it says the old guard's lead hero, whoever wins, will get 1,000 months of service. That's a little over 83 years for those math bros out there.
Ew. Lifetime.
Yeah. lifetimes. I don't think I'm gonna live another 83 years. So I might just for fun give it a shot. So it
Wait,
says,
is it gonna be the highest score wins or what?
Okay, let's see. I'll tell you exactly.
So there's gonna be those people that are just gonna be super good and try hard and try all day.
Well, the nice thing is they only get 3 days to become the high score, so it doesn't give you a ton of time to get better. So it says, because Andy and the other main protagonists are immortal, one can't get killed in this game. Instead, you have to, as long as possible, without getting hit, and as quickly as possible. So you have to last as long as you can without getting hit and get through the end of the level as fast as possible. So it's kind of a two-thing score. You're trying to make it from A to B without getting hit and as quickly as you can. So that's how you score the points, and then the website keeps your score, and will probably have some sort of ranking system, so you'll be able to see if you're in it to win it or not.
So in order to play, you gotta have an account, right? An account, log in, so they could track.
One would assume. I mean, well, so I'm on the website Cinema Blend, and they have the link right to it from Cinema Blend. And I clicked on that link, and it takes me to the site that says, this opens tomorrow morning, so you can't do anything on there. Yeah, literally it's a white page. It just says, come back tomorrow. So it doesn't really say that you have to have a Netflix account. I think it's an opportunity to actually win Netflix if you don't have it. So really all you need to be is a skilled gamer.
Oh, speaking of the old guard,
did
you watch the Netflix specialty on YouTube?
No. What was it?
Where they have a little 8-minute short of the history of the old guard.
No.
Like a timeline of when she began to where the movie is now, sort of thing.
No, I did not see that.
Yeah,
I'll have to go check that out. Yeah, and we remember from last time that this was written by a guy from our area. So and his name is Greg Rucka. I couldn't remember when we talked about it originally. So Greg Rucka is the writer and creator of The Old Guard, and he's out of Portland, Oregon. So props to him.
Greg, if you're listening to this, we would like a tour, please.
Yeah, or let's get him on the show. Let's try to get our first celebrity on the show. So Greg, we're coming for you, buddy.
Yeah, and I was reading this article where they said that he was part of the screenwriting for the show too. So it's very close to the comic book.
Nice, very cool. I love it.
There's a few changes.
So a little
like changes that it benefits the movie.
Yeah.
Like for example, he changed the Asian girl. Remember her partner at the very beginning?
Yeah, I don't want to give away what happens to her, but yeah.
Yeah, her name is Quinn.
Okay.
But in the comic, she's Japanese, so she had a Japanese name.
Oh, okay.
And then for the show, they changed it to Quinn because the actress is Vietnamese.
Oh, okay.
So they gave her a Vietnamese name rather than a Japanese name,
Yeah, that's cool.
So
that's a good change. Yeah, that's a good change.
Yeah.
They didn't turn it into a white lady. Which is good. It was just that's old movies. New movies don't do that so much anymore. Yeah. So that's perfect. I think before we go on with any more Netflix or any of the other things, I think we should take a quick break. But when we come back from this break, I have 1, 2, 3, 4 more hot takes for Netflix. I got a couple tasty trailers, and I have a hot tater. We haven't had a hot music tater in a long time, so I'm pretty excited to talk about that. So we'll catch you guys after this quick message. Need affordable graphic design? VisualAntiDesign.com should be your first stop. High quality work at low prices. Perfect for every need from corporate to personal. Visit VisualAntiDesign.com now and request your free quote. And for a limited time, mention Audionots for 10% off your first project. And we're back. So I wanted to finish up with Netflix. I finished Warrior Nun. Did you finish it?
Oh, hell yeah.
Hell yeah. So let's talk about that weird ending. I mean, what the heck's going on?
That wasn't even an ending, dude. That was like a scene.
It was so strange.
Scene.
Yeah, it was the weirdest thing. So we won't give too much away, but everybody who's watching Warrior Nun or is about to watch Warrior Nun, don't be shocked when all of a sudden it just kind of ends. It feels like, like they're mid-episode almost. It feels like. It's like almost like COVID hit and they said, all right, stop filming. We're done. Like they were in the middle of all this stuff happening and it just ended. It wasn't even a cliffhanger. It was just this abrupt stoppage. It was so strange.
Yeah. It's like they ran out of money because of COVID. And they're like, stop production.
Yeah, I don't know. Here. So there's a lot that I liked about Warrior Nun, but there was almost as much that I disliked about Warrior Nun. So I'm very 50-50 on it. If a second season comes out, maybe I'll watch it just so I can tell what the hell was happening. Because they did some hard twists at the end that were very nonchalant. You know, it's like, hey, I've got a twist, but I don't care about the twist. I'm like, what the hell, guys? Like, commit to it.
Because like for me, it kind of dragged on way too long. And
for how long it dragged on, why would you end like that? You had so much time.
Yeah. And like the main girl, if she was herself, when towards the end, how she like really smart Alec, you know, just witty and shit, talking shit the whole time. I like that. She was cool. But then it's kind of like, I don't know. They don't have a pace of the show.
Yeah, they need to figure out, hopefully maybe with a time off, if they do get renewed, they'll have a better idea of what the characters are, how the actors and actresses play them, and that kind of thing. And maybe that'll help because the concept is cool. The execution was not so great, but we'll see. We'll see what happens.
But they're like, fuck's given, none.
By the way, I made a fucks given none t-shirt on my TeePublic.
Nice.
So everybody go out to Tipsy Curator on TeePublic and just type in fucks given none, and it's pretty cool.
Yeah, or you could scan the QR code right here.
Yeah, I saw you did that last episode. Yeah. So anybody who just listens, you should try it once in a while listening on the YouTubes, because Bryn put it up on YouTube and you can actually see how great we are, how amazing we are. But
not today, man. Kind of sweaty.
Yeah, we're all a little sweaty today. But he's got these QR codes right above, so you can scan right on your phone, go straight to our t-shirt shops and buy some swag. So that's always fun too. I know you know anime, but how well do you know manga? Or is it manga? Do I even say it right? Is it manga or manga?
I don't know, man.
That's how well you know it too?
I call it manga.
Okay, we'll go with that because what do I know? So, do you read any manga?
Manga. No, not really. The only time I read it is when people read it to me on YouTube.
Oh, so
I can listen to it like a
audible version of manga.
Yeah.
Okay, so there's a manga, and maybe you know it because maybe some person's read it to you on the YouTubes.
Yeah.
But called Usagi Yojimbo. Do you know that one?
No.
It's also, I could be saying it completely wrong. Usagi Yojimbo. That's how I would say it, but I don't know. So it looked kind of cool. So Usagi Yojimbo is a manga comic that stars, it looks like a rabbit and a turtle, and they're like ancient Japanese like karate fighters or some stuff, and they're cartoonizing it for Netflix. Did you look it up?
Yeah, I've seen this before.
The visuals look pretty cool. So that's kind of a tease at this point. They haven't created any content, I don't think, for us to watch. I think it's kind of along the line of like Cuphead, where they're telling us they're doing it, but we haven't seen anything yet. But like you mentioned last episode, Netflix is really committed to animation. So, and I like that they're willing to go in all sorts of different routes to get these different content.
He's like a samurai bunny, huh?
Yeah.
Dude, I'm a year of the bunny. He's like my spirit animal.
Yeah, maybe you'll love it. So maybe now's always the time I found when we learn about these things early to go buy it on Amazon or one of these other places, because now you can probably get it for cheap before everybody realizes that it's cool and buys it all up.
Yeah, apparently there's like a crossover with Ninja Turtles.
Really?
And there's like a toy that's labeled Ninja Turtles, but it's the bunny. On eBay for like $250.
Dude, buy it now. It's an investment. You can resell it in a couple of months for $1,000.
Dude, look at this comic. It's like $1,100. Do you have any?
No. I never even heard of it until I saw the story about it. I wish.
Strange. Yeah.
So
I'm gonna start making merch now.
Yeah, make some Usagi Yojimbo merch. Look for that on Ren's TeePublic, Shinobi. The next one is an actual trailer, so this one could be both tasty trailer and Netflix. Project Power, starring Jamie Foxx and Joseph Gordon-Levitt. And I think you explained it best when you told me to go watch this trailer. So why don't you tell the audio nuts out there what this is?
Did you watch it?
I have seen the trailer now.
Yeah. So it's basically like Limitless, right?
Yeah.
To where you take a pill and rather than like making your brain hella smart, it gives you powers for 5 minutes.
It's a cool concept. Do you know
Yeah.
if Project Power is based on a comic or graphic novel?
I don't know, probably, right? At this point.
Everything is.
But then it's pretty cool how like that's the concept. And then, you know, of course, the bad guys are going to weaponize it.
Oh, for sure. Everybody wants to weaponize it.
So it looks like the mafia or some kind of gang got control of it. And then Jamie Foxx is basically going in and trying to like, you know, ruin everything for them. And
did they take his daughter or something, or she's involved somehow?
Yeah, because the girl's like, did they take something from you? And she's like, oh wait, someone.
That's cheesy.
And then later on, you find out that it's the trailer tells you the whole story.
Yeah,
it's just his daughter, and then at the end, you know, you see him getting shot.
Yeah,
and he's all like powering up for some reason. So it makes you think that does Jamie Foxx already have powers?
Right.
And is because it makes it seem like they're using his daughter to make the pills.
Yeah, I think you may have figured out the plot that maybe his family inherently has powers, and they're somehow drawing like her DNA or blood or something to create these pills that gives other people 5 minutes of power. And they say in the trailer how like sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. Like some people it overdoes it for them, almost like a drug overdose, and it like kills them. And also, depending on when you take it or why you take it or who takes it, you don't know what power you're going to get until you take it. And so some guys are like flame on, they're like the Human Torch, and other people are like doing all sorts of weird like stuff with blue lights. And it looks, I mean, actually is kind of dumb as the plot sounds. It looks kind of cool. So maybe it'll be great. I mean, it's got good actors. I mean, you would think Jamie Foxx and Joseph Gordon-Levitt is a big-time movie theater movie. So the fact that this is a Netflix original just shows that they're still pushing money into stuff.
Right. And then you see that Jordan Levitt. Yes. He gets shot in the face, and he became like Colossus for a second there to like. He's like, ugh. So it makes it seem like, is he taking the pills? Or does he have powers to begin with too? You know, it's like,
it could be one of those deals where almost like in the old guard where they were trying to steal their immortality. Maybe there are people who just inherently have these powers, and the bad guys are stealing the powers and selling it almost like a drug.
Yeah, so it's a cool concept, and there's a lot of CG. So like, man, is this movie like expensive to make? It
has to be. It's like.
Big name.
It doesn't look garbage either. It looks like good quality graphics and everything.
And it kind of seems like a buddy cop movie too.
Yeah. Yeah, no, so I'm down. So everybody should go out and look up Project Power. It's a bad name. I think that's one of the things that's catching me. If they would have come up with any other name other than Project Power, I hate that name so much.
Which you call like Power Pill.
Well, that's just as stupid. Come on with something that doesn't tell you what the goddamn movie is, right? It's like when we say, because we work in marketing, you don't ever really want to have the name of the item inside of the actual product that you're selling, you know?
Right.
Nike isn't called shoe. It references it for those who know the Greek god Nike and those kind of things. They kind of get the idea, right? So,
like for example, Limitless, right?
Yeah.
It doesn't tell you that they're taking pills.
But it still gives you a glimpse into what it is. Yeah, give me until next episode. I'll come up with a better name for this movie, and we'll sell it to them.
I think the best part of the trailer was at the end.
Which part?
The waitress is like,
I know what you're gonna say.
She's like asking Jamie Foxx, "You need anything else?" And then he's like, "No, I'm fine." And she's like, "Oh yeah, you are."
Yeah, you are.
So cheesy, dude. It's hilarious.
So cheesy. At least they played into it, so maybe they know they're a little cheesy. The last thing I have to cover for the healthy stream before we move on to tasty trailers is one of my all-time favorite, canceled way too soon, half-hour sitcoms is getting the COVID Zoom comedy treatment. Yes. Happy endings. And for anybody out there, and I can't stress this enough, for any of you Audionots that haven't watched Happy Endings, jump on Hulu or Netflix or wherever the hell it is and watch it. There's only 3 seasons because it was before its time. Every comedy that's come after it's tried to copy it. It's hilarious. So funny. They are doing kind of like what Community did, and what other shows did it? Mythic Quest did it, and
Parks and Rec.
Parks and Rec did it, and 30 Rock is doing it, I think, tonight. By the way, so if you've got NBC or the Peacock, you can watch that one tonight. So, but Happy Endings is doing their reunion on June 20th. So that's pretty soon too. That's only in, by the time we release this. Wait, June 20th.
Wait, it's July.
Yeah, it's July. I wrote down June 20th. I bet you it means July 20th. We're going to say that. Remember, I typed these things in. I could have finger fudged it. So either that or it's next year. I think it's soon, though. So let's go with July 20th. Yeah, July 20th. And this one's interesting. You don't have to have, for anybody out there like, oh, man, I don't have any streaming devices. This one's going to be on YouTube. And like all these things, nice. The money goes to, like, whatever money they make from the commercials go to some sort of charity.
Oh, like Parks and Rec, then, huh?
Yeah, just like Parks and Rec. I think it's some sort of coronavirus charity. So I recommend go watch all the episodes of Happy Endings 5 times each. And then watch Happy Endings Reunion, the Zoom edition on YouTube. I'm going to say July 20th. Probably by the time you hear this podcast, it'll be available. And I'm hoping that people love it so much that they say, you know what show we need to bring back? And they put it back on like Netflix or HBO Max or something. That would be fantastic.
Ain't it written by Dan Harmon?
No, it is not. But it could have been because it's funny like a Dan Harmon show.
Wait, there's somebody in there that
I don't doubt it.
Produce or something?
Maybe. I'd have to look it up. I mean, all the casts have ended up on other shows. And so if you've never seen it and you watch it, you'll be like, oh, I know him from, New Girl. I know her from The Ranch. Or, I know Adam Polly from every TV show that's ever been made since, because he's been on like everything.
It's freaking hilarious.
He's so funny. And he was at his best during Happy Endings. So
yeah, because I had my wife watch the show like a year ago.
Yeah.
And it was still hilarious. It
still feels fresh.
Yeah.
Yeah. So the Mexican NyQuil episode is my daughter and I's favorite. We still quote that episode to this day because it kills me. It's so funny.
Yeah.
Like it's good TV. So anyways, Happy Endings Reunion, July 20th, YouTube. And that kind of wraps up the healthy stream. Over on to tasty trailers. I've got only 2 tasty trailers, if you don't count Project Power. But finally, we talked about this forever ago because generally when we get news in, we'll tell you, hey, like we did with Usagi Yojimbo, this thing may be done someday. Then the next step is maybe there's a teaser trailer. Then the step after that is an actual trailer. So the actual trailer for Star Trek Lower Decks finally came out. Do you remember this? The animated from Rick and Morty guy. And now Solar Opposites. So the guy that made, he's not even a co-creator. He's one of the producers on, because he's not Dan Harmon and he's not Justin Roiland, but he's the other dude. One of the producers from Rick and Morty and the co-creator of Solar Opposites has created a first ever Star Trek cartoon that's funny. Because I think they've had a Star Trek cartoon before, but none that were meant to be silly. This one's called Lower Decks, and it's going to be exclusively on the CBS streaming app. So I would never recommend purchasing the CBS streaming app. What I would recommend is waiting for all 10 or 12 episodes to come out and then doing your 7-day free trial and watching them all at once. But the trailer is out, and I highly recommend that everybody go and watch it because it does look really fun. Because if you like Star Trek, you'll really like this. If you don't like Star Trek, you're still going to really like this, I think, because it just looks silly. It almost reminds me of an animated version of the Orville.
Okay. So do we need to know anything about Star Trek to like the show?
I don't think so. Like, if you know the very basics of Star Trek, they're on a spaceship flying around space, like solving people's problems. Yeah. And the other thing I would keep in mind for those who don't know anything about Star Trek is generally anybody that had a red shirt on, especially in the old days, would die. All the lower deck people tend to wear a lot of red, so it's kind of funny. I think there's a lot of jokes. So my guess is there'll be some good inside jokes for Trekkies. But the majority of the humor seems like it'll hit pretty much for anybody.
Didn't they make fun of that in the new Star Trek movie?
Oh, I'm sure they must have, because it's been like a running joke since the 60s. Because I remember as a kid, Star Trek came out long before my time, but as a kid watching reruns of the OG Star Trek, And even as a little kid, I knew if the guy beamed down with them that had a red shirt on, I knew that guy was goners. He'd be the first one to die every time.
Yeah. Wasn't he just like a space playboy?
Oh, Captain Kirk? Yeah.
Yeah.
Captain Kirk was, he would basically go planet to planet and be like, I am so in love with this green Martian lady. And then he'd have sex with her. And that's all that's all ever happened. Every episode was the same.
Yeah.
So,
yeah. Space playboy. There you go.
Space playboy. You nailed it. My second trailer is also a television trailer. And we mentioned the concept of this a couple episodes ago. Now there's not technically a trailer, but a teaser trailer, which are always kind of aggravating because it makes you excited, but doesn't give you enough to really know if it's going to be good.
Yeah.
Chucky the television show. So we learned a couple things from this Chucky the television show teaser. Number one, the font treatment as a graphic designer, and you would appreciate this, Ren, is totally dope the way they do the Chucky logo. In fact, it wouldn't shock me if both of us ended up with t-shirts of this logo version of the Chucky logo, because it's pretty cool. I like the way they did it.
Damn it, I'm gonna look at it right now.
Yeah, look it up. You're gonna like it. Second, we learned that they put so much money into this Chucky TV show that it's not on one network. It's going to be on 2 networks, so they could split the cost. So nice. Chucky, the television show, is both going to be on Sci-Fi and USA, which we learned earlier are owned by NBC Universal. So from everything I've read in the little bit of a teaser trailer, Chucky this time is going back because they went real silly with the movie with What's-Her-Face. They're bringing it old school, so they're giving them new ways to kill. They've gone more real style type Chucky, not an animated Chucky, not a like, 3D.
Like dolls?
Yeah, actual like dolls and stuff like that. So it looks like it might have a good chance. So Chucky in general is always kind of funny horror anyways. Yeah. So I'm hoping it works. Either it does or it doesn't. I don't know.
Damn. Hopefully, like Netflix or something will pick it up. Like when the season's out,
Yeah.
Because freaking Sci-Fi, man, always censor, dude. Ruins it.
Oh, yeah, that's right. That's true. Because I say it'll be on Hulu, I'm sure. But, yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, okay. If Chucky doesn't cuss, that's kind of like, that's a nice Chucky.
Yeah, Cussy. Chucky has to cuss.
Yeah.
Cussy. So
Cussy. That's his cousin.
Oh, by the way, Chucky, the television show, does not debut until 2021. So we're not seeing that. Because at the end of the trailer, I was like, when is it coming? And it's like 2021. So they don't even give a month.
Damn.
So who knows? Sometime next year, we get our violent, doll TV on.
That's a hot tease, dude.
It's a hot tease. Speaking of hot, I want to slither over to the hot taters. I haven't had a hot tater in forever. And I'm excited because I don't think I even told you about this ahead of time. But I stumbled on this. Every once in a while, I'll stumble on something the most random way. And I stumbled onto this brand new band. And by band, I mean one person. But he calls himself Hot Dad. So everybody jump on your Spotify, your Pandora, your Apple Music, and look up Hot Dad because you're going to have your mind blown. So Hot Dad is this dude that makes the most 80s sounding music you've ever heard, but it's like real synthesizer. But every song he's put out, and it's funny that I just now discovered him, homie's put out like 1 million albums. And it's always like, Hot Dad presents Hot Dad. And you remember those old like Now CDs they used to make? Like, hot music now. It's like Hot Dad now. And like, Hot Dad has music. It's like every song is like one very specific topic. It'll be like Hot Dad. Like a whole album will be just about him singing about his favorite characters from a movie. Or another whole album will be about, his favorite food, stuff like that. I should have pulled it up ahead of time.
Like an album?
Entire albums.
Not just one song?
No. Entire albums. And so I came across them on one of my favorite websites. And if you guys don't visit it, you should. It's called The Awesomer. And The Awesomer every week puts out different videos of things. And so Hot Dad made you remember the TV show Arthur? It was like a kids show with like this like rodent looking dude.
Yeah, remember the fists? He's like
he's like a meme now.
Yeah.
So Hot Dad took the theme song from Arthur and made it into an 80s like goth rock song, which is fantastic. Nice. It's super good. So Hot Dad, I'm just gonna give you some example. I'm pulling up his Spotify right now. Let's see where you at. Hot
did
Dad.
Did he do Post Malone?
Did he do Post Malone?
I remember Post Malone had a remix of one of his songs, but they made it 80s. It was pretty dope.
Oh, interesting. No, I don't know. So like this album's called Now That's What I Call Hot Dad Music. And the first song is Two Shits, One Fuck. The second song is Mac D. Then he starts getting into like, next song is called Hardee's, I Want to Go and Eat At. One's called Sucking on My Tindies, whatever that means. Can You Talk to People Around the World on the Internet is a song.
I think tendies is like chicken strips.
Oh, well, there you go. Like chicken tenders.
Yeah.
See, because there's a later on song called KFC's Waiting for Me. So this is the kind of things this guy makes. So just know going in that this isn't amazing music. Oh, he actually has one called Know Your Meme. Oh, here's my favorite song. Since we can't play his music, I don't think I've never got permission. But he has a song called The Killers. And I'm sure you know, but not all the Audionots know out there. The Killers are actually one of my favorite bands of all time, Brandon Flowers. And so the Killers song is about how much he likes the Killers. And literally it just goes something like this. I think I can sing it without getting in trouble. But it goes something like, have you heard about the new band, The Killers, the Billers, the Killers, the Killers? And he just keeps saying, have you been to the concert by the Killers? But it's like to this 80s synth sound. So the Killers is my favorite Hot Dad song. Oh, here's another song called Burger King Aims to Please. One called I Love Never Changing My Clothes. Or Bring Your Own Vaporwave. But there's like so many songs. I mean, every album has like 400 songs on it.
Yeah, I'm looking at photos of how he looks like. He looks so goofy.
Yeah, he's exactly what you would expect a guy calling himself Hot Dad would look like. So that's my hot tater for the week. Everybody, when you're done listening to this amazing podcast, go blow your minds with some Hot Dad.
Wait, how did you stumble upon him?
The Awesomer. So I stumbled on the Awesomer posted his remake of the Arthur theme song as an 80s hit. So that's how I came across him. And I'm like, only reason I clicked on it because I like the name Hot Dad. I'm like, what is this? So
I bet you there's a song about like hot dad bod or something.
Oh, probably. Like I think that's kind of his whole thing is the dad bod angle. I think this is perfect time to jump into the news jacuzzi, see what's bubbling up. Our first story is it's like one of these early stories that we tell you now, and then later on we'll tell you about it is a tasty trailer. So, do you like Chevy Chase?
Yeah, from Community.
Yeah. Did you ever watch any of his movies? I'm sure you've seen like Christmas Vacation, National Vacation. Did you ever watch his other big hit, Fletch?
No.
Okay, so Fletch and Fletch Lives, and by the way, Fletch, the second Fletch is not so great. Was kind of like his like spy thriller movie where he's going around trying to like accomplish stuff and everything goes wrong. It's kind of funny. Like it's kind of like a bumbling spy kind of a thing.
Like Mr. Bean?
Sort of, yeah, but like Americanized with Chevy Chase. So the rebooting Fletch, which is exciting, probably for some people, and other people are like, how dare you? It's a perfect movie. Don't reboot it. But guess who they got to star as the new Fletch?
Hold on, is he older?
He's a little older, but he's definitely a well-known actor.
Thanos.
Oh, Josh Brolin? Yeah. That's honestly a very close type of guess. John Hamm.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, John Hamm and Josh Brolin, though, I'd put them in the same piece of the puzzle. They're very similar type guys. So,
I love John Hamm.
Yeah, so I thought that was kind of exciting. John Hamm is going to be Fletch. That should be pretty funny because I know John Hamm ever since Mad Men, he's been out to prove himself as a comedic actor. And I think he's done it successfully in a lot of occasions. On 30 Rock, I've been rewatching 30 Rock. He played a lover of Liz Lemon, and then of course he showed up in another one of her shows at Kimmy Schmidt. He was the evil preacher guy.
Karate. Yeah,
karate. So John Hamm, Fletch reboot. Let's get excited. Staying with kind of like the famous types, did you see that Nick Cannon got fired, not from just his TV show, but everything the network had ever had him on? So Viacom, which owns pretty much a lot of things they own. We talked about this almost the other day when we talked about YouTube. YouTube had recently added all the Viacom stations. So MTV, BET, CMT, VH1, Paramount, all that stuff, CBS. Nick Cannon had made some remarks that were called anti-Semitic on his podcast. So if you're listening to Nick Cannon's podcast, jump over here. We don't say anything racist ever, but he proved that racism can go both ways, I guess. But so Nick Cannon, he got canceled. But I saw that he's fighting to keep his show Wild, and now that it's his ownership, he's hoping to maybe take it somewhere else.
Nick got canned.
Yeah. Oh, snap. That's going to be like the headline of some like garbagey newspaper.
You think, like, for example, Wild Out, all the people on there will like protest and not be on the show?
I don't know.
If it goes on?
Maybe they will, maybe they won't. I've seen a lot of the black community stood behind him and said that, yeah, we love Nick Cannon, it's fine, don't worry about it. And it's hard because we're so used to racism very specifically going particular directions. Right. And he's come out and he's apologized and said, I'm not a racist guy, that's not how I meant it. But he didn't want to. So I guess by apologizing, I mean, he says that he's not racist, and his comments were not meant to be taken that way. And so,
right.
But it happens to everybody. It just goes to prove that you got to be careful what you say, no matter who you are, race-wise or otherwise. So, bye, Nick Cannon. I mean, I doubt that's the worst thing that's happened to him. I mean, he was once married to Mariah Carey. So, my next story has to do with two of my favorite things, Legos and Nintendo. I just saw that Lego is bringing out an exact replica that you can build of the original NES, the old school 8-bit NES. And what's cool about it is not only can you build this 8-bit NES, but you can build this little tiny old school box television that goes with it. And you build the screen. It's not a real TV, but you build the screen behind it, and it's kind of flat with a screen like this. And you get a little Mario you can make jump through like the old school 8-bit Mario Brothers course. Right. And so all I can tell you, Mr. Wren, is I'm going to waste money on this. This is the kind of thing that speaks to me loud and clearly. And I'm going to buy it. And I'm the dorkiest guy that I may either open it very carefully and save everything perfectly, or I may never even take it out of the box.
That's why you buy two.
That's right. Could get two of these, but I haven't been this excited about a Lego item in forever. I mean, Nintendo I have because I bought the little mini Nintendo. I still have the old retro Nintendo. I still have the original Nintendo from way back when, but I'm a big fan of old Nintendo stuff, and I love Legos.
Right. What if the only way to build it is to build it with little square blocks? So it'd be like 8-bit.
Like 8-bit. I saw the picture of it, so you should look it up. The picture of it. It looks pretty legit. They have a video and everything. It almost has its own tasty trailer where you can watch somebody else kind of put it together and play with it.
But was that the one where they promote like Lego Mario?
Yeah, because at the very end, it looks like you could build it two ways. You can build the old school way, or you can build more of like a Mario track, and there's like a little Mario figurine you can set on the top. And he goes, "It's me, Mario!" And you like plug them in, and they start playing the Mario music.
Right.
So, it looks great. Everybody should waste their money on that, but not before I get mine because I don't want it to be difficult to find.
Yeah, it's going to be hard to find, for sure.
It always is, sons of guns. And my last story is I saved it for last because Ren texted me last night and said, dude, look this up. And so I looked it up, and then we had an argument about what it was called, only to find out that it has multiple names for both the company and the product. So we want to introduce to you, as they've introduced to the world, there's a company called Autoblow. Now, Autoblow, the company, makes and we're going to, if there's little kids in the room, now's the time to send them away because I don't think I can be all that sensitive about this because there's just no way around it.
Well, when I upload our podcast, I put explicit all the time. So
okay, perfect. So this is going to get very explicit. Yeah, so I apologize.
Not made for kids.
Yeah, anybody that's easily offended, you can go ahead and finish the show right now and call it a day. The Autoblow company basically has made a blowjob machine for the real lonely fellers out there. And so they have now with this new third one, but they have 3 products basically. They have the original auto blow, which is nothing more than looks like a pump. So imagine we're going to say the word banana. So imagine you took a banana and you took like almost like a breast pump and you put it on it and it goes up and down on the banana until the banana splits open. Okay, that's the OG auto blow. It's all pneumatic, probably really loud. I have no idea. Kind of thing that seems a little too scary to even want to consider. Okay, then skip to the future, 2018, 2019. The auto blow company invents their own AI, artificial intelligence, which is insane to me because we all know, we've talked about in the past how porn drives technology.
Yeah.
The auto blow 2.0 is similar, but this one's got quiet technology. They on their website they brag about how amazing it is. It's got all these buttons you can push, like multiple different things, and supposedly the reason they use the word AI, it learns how you like it. So if you're thinking my lady doesn't want to hang out enough and have a little fun all the time, or I'm a lonely sad man and my banana needs to be opened more, the Auto Blow 2.0 is the gal for you because she learns what it's up. You push it, it learns it. The more you use it, the smarter it gets, apparently.
Wait, but it doesn't necessarily be a she, right? It could be
whatever you want it to be. It's a machine. So I'm sorry, I said she. Yes, that was very politically incorrect for me during this blowjob section to assume that it was a she. So yes, the Auto Blow 2.0 is your artificial intelligent version of a BJ machine. Now, this though, however, is what Rin sent to me, and he said, "Have you heard of the Auto Moblo?" And I thought, no, that sounds so weird. And I looked it up and I thought he'd misspoke. I found the website, Auto Blow, until I realized that their third and newest product is called Auto Moblo, and it's a play on automobile. This is amazing. You want to tell them about this one since you're the one that discovered it? No?
No, go ahead. I only told you what it is.
Too ashamed?
Yeah.
So the automobile, here's the downside. I'm going to tell you right away about the automobile. So where the old chunky one is going to get you caught, at home, the second one's the one you're going to get away with, being sneaky in the bathroom or the closet or where the hell it is you want to go, choke the banana. But this new one, not only is it going to get you arrested probably, but it requires you to own a Tesla. So the Automoblo is a blowjob machine that connects to your Tesla car. And by the way, don't do it at work, but everybody needs to go to autoblow.com and look at this thing because they have a little video and it's hilarious. Yeah. I thought honestly that it was maybe a joke because this is a big ass contraption. It's much bigger than the Autoblow 2.0. The Automoblo sits, like part of it sits in your cup holder. Yeah. Because I guess there's a charger on Teslas right there or some sort. So you sit it in your cup holder and it plugs it in. Then it's got this articulating arm that comes out of your cup holder and comes over and back down on your unit. So it goes over your banana. And they advertise it because as we all know by now, Teslas can be self-driving cars. They advertise it as all you got to do is set your car to self-driving and you head off to work and you arrive all happy and ready to go. And supposedly this one's also smart enough that it figures out not to finish you off until you almost get to your destination.
Yeah, they call it like the edging.
The edging. So funny. I can't believe that this product is real. I have 2 questions that they don't answer in the video. Okay. So their whole thing is like, strap up, drive to work, strap up, drive home for work, wear this thing on the way to and from places, right? That's their whole gimmick. But let me ask you this. How do I don't get arrested for indecent exposure when a big truck drives by and little Sally looks over and sees me getting auto blown in my Tesla, my $65,000 car? First of all, how do I not get arrested? 2, I had to drive around with my pants off everywhere? Or what am I doing? Is this an unzipping type situation? But more importantly, where does all the finale go? Once you're like, finale, and it's all out there, like, am I just carrying around this giant contraption full of gunk? I mean, what the hell's going on at that point?
Yeah, I guess like commercial, he goes to his workplace, finishes, and then goes to work.
He just gets out, and then when he shows him coming home and finishing, he gets out and just grabs the thing, starts carrying it with him. He's not dripping all over his car. It seems like a good way to ruin. Maybe hope it's not a lease, because I'm real scared now if I get a secondhand Tesla that someone may have been automoblown in it, and who knows what's going on in that driver's side seat.
Right. Yeah, because he does the dirty on the way to work and on the way back. So it's like the sleeve like interchangeable or what, you know? I don't know.
And how's this guy just not like crippled if he's doing this to and from work every day? I'm like, oh my gosh. So yeah, all of the fellas out there who are lonely and also semi-wealthy, you've got a Tesla and you're bored and you don't have a friend to help you out. The Automoblo. This is I didn't mention this before because I did my research because I'm a team player. The OG Autoblo is like $100. The Autoblo 2.0, which is like the more fancy, compact, throw it in your suitcase, you're a weirdo secret version, is like $240 on sale. By the way, there was a 25% off deal when I looked today. The Automoblo isn't ready yet, but I think they said something about coming out at Christmas.
Oh yeah,
it's $140. It was $139, so you could pre-order it, I think. So yeah, that's weird, but there you go.
How do they get away with it? Like, maybe like how does Elon Musk be like, hey, what are you?
Well, you know,
using my car.
Elon of all people probably thinks it's hilarious because he's such a weirdo anyways. And
he's like, any PR's PR.
Yeah, and at the end of the commercial, real fast, they're like, not associated with Tesla. So they make sure to cover their bases.
Maybe Elon Musk needs to like invent some kind of like super tinted windows or something on his Teslas.
So you think that the Automoblo is only $140, but you guys spend another $500 tinting the windows out so you don't get arrested. But I mean, I get multitasking, my friends. But what if you get in a car accident? Because Teslas aren't perfect. There's definitely been a few Tesla crashes here and there. Can you imagine the first person that gets in a car accident and they go to like the jaws of life and like, and they open him up and they're like, what's on him? He's like all half wanked out inside of the Automoblo. Like, come on.
That, sir, is an Automoblo.
He was blown away. So
I bet you they got this idea from that one couple where they shot their whole porno scene in a Tesla on autopilot.
Oh, I didn't even know that was a thing, but that's amazing. Yeah. So yeah. I don't know how to follow that.
What's next? Like on rockets?
I mean, all I have to say is, guys, save yourself some money and meet someone nice that's quality, and you won't have to invest in something that's going to get you murdered, killed, or arrested. Because it seems bad news, but it is pretty funny. I mean, it's good content, and I appreciate that.
Yeah, we'll have to share the video because it's pretty hilarious.
Yeah, I'll see if I can get it shared on our Twitter. Our Twitter seems to have the most followers. So if you want to see, if you're too ashamed to go click on the autoblow.com yourself, just jump on our Twitter and be like, oh, I don't know how that popped up, honey, when she walks by right when this guy is getting his job done. So
yeah, use us as an excuse.
Yeah, use us as an excuse. So I don't have anything else. You have anything else to share with the people?
No, yeah. Try to go cool down. It's pretty hot today.
Yeah. So we may not give you an auto blow, but we give you auto fun. So make sure to tune in every episode. Visit vigilantedesign.com for your hottest graphic design opportunities. And with that, we will see you guys on the flippity flip. Bye.
Show me what you got.